Hi, Dave. Oh my goodness, it's an honor to be on your show.
Honored to have you. How can we help?
So, I'm really just looking for debt advice. We are struggling to pay back an SBA loan, payments for my husband's franchise that is now closed.
Ouch.
Yeah.
How
So
much
you
debt is it?
borrowed how much on an SBA loan to buy a franchise?
It was a total of $223,000.
Okay. What kind of franchise?
It was a moving company. He kind of bought it at a premium because it was already in existence, and we really were under the impression it would be successful. And unfortunately, I don't know if it was just due to the market at the time, but it was really obvious after about a year that it was not going to be profitable anytime soon. And so he made the decision to close it, and it was a big risk to begin with, but we decided to go ahead and just close it and move on. He does have a great job now that he loves, thankfully.
What does he make?
But about $70,000 now.
What do you make?
I make $48,000.
Do you guys have any other debt?
We don't. Well, we have a very small car loan remaining and our house payment.
Mm-hmm.
We have about $200,000 left on our house.
Are there any assets at all left over from the business?
From the business, no.
You sold them or what?
Yes, everything was sold and wiped out.
The actual franchise itself, is the brand still open?
Yes.
Can you not sell that franchise to someone?
No, it wasn't going to be, and no, it wasn't going to be an option. They couldn't help us with that.
Wow.
Why?
That's a good question. We asked the question at the time, and it was going to be a very, very long process to even try to find a buyer. And I don't know. Honestly,
I assume the franchisor has approval over any buyer, but even if you could sell the thing for $10,000 to somebody that just wanted that franchise, because they're probably selling that franchise to a brand new franchisee for a good deal more than that, correct?
It's possible. They kind of just dissolved it in our territory, and it was picked up by somebody else who's further away. And they're
so
just
you've
kind of
lost your
covering
rights
his
to it
territory.
by now then, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it was closed. We closed it in February.
Now, closing it is different than the actual franchise. A franchise is an element that is actually a right that you have that you paid for.
Right. Sorry. So it has expired. It's dissolved.
Okay. All right.
Man.
Well, so you got $233,000 on 110.
Yeah.
$23,000 a year is 10 years. $50,000 a year is 5 years. What are you going to do to get your income up so it goes faster?
I'm not sure. We're hoping that his job, so far it's going well, but
what did he do before this?
Hope for his promotion. He's in operations and logistics management. He's worked for Amazon for a few years, and he worked for another company for a few years.
What did he make before he quit and started the franchise?
He was making about 109,000.
That sounds more like logistics than 70.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And he lost that job in January 2021. They had a restructuring in the business.
Yeah, but the logistics world, if he knows supply chain and he knows how to lay that out, that's a six-figure income.
Yes, you would think that.
No, I wouldn't think. I know.
Job, but right.
And you live in Tampa, freaking Florida. There's logistics there for sure.
We're
okay. Let me tell you, Carrie. Here's what's going on. Yeah. Okay, you guys got the crap beat out of you, and your husband's lost his confidence, and you have too.
Yeah.
And he doesn't feel like he's worth what he's actually worth because of this failure. I need you guys, for your sake, to go get him a job making 110. He needs to get back in the marketplace with his shoulders thrown back and a little swagger in his step again. He's not a bad guy. You guys just made a mistake and bought a business that you didn't know how to run and ran it in the ground, and you've lost your butts. But that doesn't mean you're horrible people or you're dumb people or that suddenly he's not worth 110 when he probably actually is.
At least.
One of the things I had to recover from when I went broke, and mine was a lot more dramatic, although there's, what is major surgery? Surgery that happens to you. What's minor surgery? Surgery that happens to somebody else, right? So yours is very dramatic for you, I'm sure, and traumatic. But one of the things I had to recover from was I felt like an idiot. I felt like why should anybody trust anything I ever think again? Because I was so stinking arrogant before, it knocked me completely out of the saddle. And I don't think your husband was that guy, but it's normal when you go through this. It's the death of a dream, and part of your soul dies when you close that door and turn the key for the last time and walk away.
That definitely sounds fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to give you permission to grieve that, but I also want you to keep perspective on it, and him to keep perspective on it, because I think he took just something to get a job, and he's just kind of curled up in the corner, wounded right now.
We definitely went through that. We are hopeful for this job. I mean, he applied for jobs for almost a year before he decided to open a franchise. We're on the outskirts of Tampa. We're not really in Tampa, so we weren't finding anything at all. And so when this opportunity currently that he's working for came along, he's really, really enjoying the job, and we're hoping.
Well, I'm glad, but you have $223,000 worth of debt, and he needs to make a lot more.
Yeah. Well, my.
Okay, that's how it's going to be done, kiddo. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is, I understand where you are. I've been where you are. And I'm sorry that you've been through all this pain. But yeah, you've got to. The big math says you need to put $50,000 a year on it, and you can do that with your current income if you live on beans and rice, and it's going to take you 5 years. Or you can increase your income by $40,000 and do this in 3 or 4 years, and not have to live on beans and rice while you're doing it. And I really think that there's a tie-in here. When you get hit this hard, you look for a safe place to hide. Human nature does that. You want to go back to something where I'm,
no risk, I don't want
to stick my head up. I'll get it knocked off again. I don't want to do that. So thank you for your call. That's the answer. You take the 223 and you divide it into the number of years you want to fool with this. And what have you got to do? What has to be true to make that happen? And part of that is healing from this the rest of the way. And you're making excuses. You are. And part of that tells me you haven't healed from this the rest of the way. So you shouldn't have asked if you didn't want me to tell you.
That's true.
And guys, let me just tell you, those of you in business out there, well, business debt doesn't count. Business debt is good debt. Tell that to Carrie. All right? You go take out a $200,000 loan to buy a business, you're in stupid land. And you do that with an SBA loan, you're in super stupid land. Because SBA is forever. They do not go away. They're like a student loan. And I'm not saying Carrie's stupid. I'm just saying any of you that are thinking about doing this, you need to listen to her call. Because, we're not going to, well, right. Debt only works when debt works, and that's never. You get your butt bit off here, man, people. You got to stop it. You got to stop it. Ouch. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Up next, we have Dylan in Indianapolis. Hey, Dylan, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Well, I'm 20 years old, college dropout, and I put myself in I would say a decent amount of debt at 20, which I'm not very proud of. I owe about $70K in loans. And I stress every day about it when I wake up. So I'm just trying to see you guys' view on how I should start attacking my loan.
Okay.
And how I can pay off my debt.
Okay. What's the debt in?
Well, I have $32K in one semester of student loans. And then I have...
Wait, 1 semester?
Where'd you go to school?
On Mars?
I went to a private Christian school in Minneapolis.
But one semester was $32,000?
Yes, sir.
So their total annual is $64,000
per year. Oh my god.
Yes.
Okay, that's okay, Dylan. That's okay. We're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep on moving. What else? What else you got? It's already happened.
I'm not very proud of this one, but I actually
It's
owe
okay.
$36,000 on a car loan.
Okay, we can get rid of that. That's okay. What else?
And then I have a personal loan for like $3,700.
Okay. What was that for?
Well, basically, when I dropped out of college, I got a job in car sales, and I needed a place to live in Minneapolis that was like in a safe area, and that's how much the market rent was, $1,570. And then I had some income problems at that job, so I moved to Indianapolis with my roommate, and I had to buy out my lease.
Okay. So what are you doing now for work?
I still do car sales.
Okay, and how much are you making?
I'm
Not a lot.
making less than what I owe monthly.
Yeah, because of
So,
interest rates are tough right now, right?
well, I mean, I was blessed to have a good interest rate on my loans. Cause my
No.
my
I'm
father
saying
has
people
really good
aren't buying
credit.
cars right now.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hit or miss, to be honest.
Okay, so how much
I
will
work
you
with
make this
people with
year?
bad credit.
How much will you make this year?
My base salary is $24,000, and I make maybe $1,000 a month in commission.
Okay,
Okay.
you quit that job tomorrow. You're not making enough money.
Yeah, you're making 36. You could.
I literally took my son to breakfast the other day, and I drove past a sign. And it was my daughter. Drove past a sign, and it said McDonald's starting $20 an hour. Your car salesman days are over. You're not good at that. You've done it 2 different places, and you don't make enough money to eat. You got to let that dream go.
All right.
And you got to work at McDonald's all day, and then deliver pizzas at night, and drive Uber into the morning. Like you're broke. Is that fair?
How much would the car sell for, Dylan?
Well, I had some negative equity in my last car, so I kind of carried over to the new loan when I bought this car.
How much?
Okay.
So the car is probably worth about like 27 in the market right now. By
Okay.
35 something.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I would take out a loan of like 15, pay off the 36, get a cheap car.
There's no
Because
way they give him 15 though.
You do what?
I don't think anybody's going to give him a loan for 15.
Oh, get the personal loan out.
Could you go to a credit union and get a loan for $15,000?
I mean, I barely could get one I couldn't even get one for like the 3,000 without my dad co-signing.
Yeah.
Without the cosigning.
Yeah, I think there's no way.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how to get, because your car loan is what you make a year. So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. So we got to figure out a plan to get that out of your life. Where's your family?
My family lives in Michigan.
Okay.
Is that a safe place for you to go live for a while?
I would say so, yes.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal.
You're
Like-
going to need some support around you, Dylan.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're 20, okay? So I want to give you some grace. You're a kid. I mean,
Yeah. No,
You're a
I'm
kid, like
mad,
you-
The mad at you here is that the systems that surround an 18 and 19-year-old allowed you, a kid just trying to do what everyone's telling you to do. You got to go get a nice car. You got to get a good sales job. You got to go to this college that costs $34,000 or whatever it was a semester. You got to go do this stuff, and you can't afford it. And they let you do that. And I'm just sick to my stomach. But they let you do that, man.
so Dylan, what the best thing that you can do right now is your income. That side of the equation, because you probably don't have many expenses. I'm assuming not. You're renting and you're going to be living on nothing. You're not going to have a life. And I would probably move close to where you have a support system with some family. If nothing's keeping you in Indianapolis, I would consider that. But Dylan, I mean, I would be working 80 hours a week. I'd be getting up and I'd be somewhere at 6 a.m. and I would be getting home at 9 p.m. I mean, you're going to be exhausted. But Dylan, you're 20 years old.
You can do it.
You don't have kids at home. You don't have a wife. I mean, like, this is the season. This is the season to do it, to absolutely go nuts, because it's the only part of the equation that's actually going to give you some level of grounding. And hopefully after a year of that, of proving some level of income, then maybe you can get out of this car loan. I want this car loan out quickly because it's not worth it. And so whatever you have to do to be able to say, hey, what can I do to qualify to sell this and get it out, because I think that's the only piece of this that's going to be able to relieve some level of pressure that you can get out. So I would be taking on 2 to 3 jobs. And again, you're not going to have a life, Dylan, but I think that for a season, you're going to be able to knock some of this out, because and the other great thing, Dylan, that just to encourage you, that you're learning this at 20 years old. People call this show and they're 45 that have, a situation like this. Yeah.
No retirement.
So this is your moment, Dylan, of saying, like, what I did isn't working. It's not working. And so I will never again find myself in this position. If I don't have the money, I don't care if it's for school, I don't care if it's for a car. If I don't have the money, I'm not buying it. Like, this needs to be a point in your story, Dylan, that you look back and you say, at 20 years old, I did some dumb stuff. Took me a little bit to get out of it, some hard work, but I got out of it. And that was it. That's the last time you know this. Because, Dylan, if you get this all straightened up, especially at your age, like, this is where you're like, you could build some serious wealth in the future, but not with these habits and not with this mindset that you used to have. Does that make sense?
If you were my friend, Dylan, I would tell you to see about having a hard conversation with my mom and dad. And I say hard, it'd probably be easy, but an embarrassing one. And say, I need to move in for a year, and I'm going to try to make $40,000. And if I have a year with no bills and I make $40,000 and I take home 28 of that, I can start making a dent in some of these things.
Yeah, I currently live with my roommate. I pay about $400 a month for my part of the rent.
And your water, and your electric, and your food?
Yeah, it's about $525.
For all of your bills plus food?
That's not including food. I pay about $60 every 2 weeks for food.
No way.
Yeah, I don't eat a lot. I'm penny pinching.
So let's say $700 total, which I don't fully believe, but I'll give it to you. And you make $1,000 a month at your job?
I make about $2,000 base salary and about $1,000 extra commission.
Okay. So what's your take home every month?
This month will be $2,700.
That's after taxes and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you able to pay minimum payments on all of this? Are you able to put a dent into the student loan, keep up with the car payment?
Yeah, I actually have never missed a payment yet, but I'm getting to the point now where, like, I feel like I might miss a payment, and I'm afraid because my father co-signed most of these loans, and I don't want to ruin his credit because I'm my poor.
Yeah,
that's a fair weight to carry for sure. So yeah, Dylan, I think life just looks really different, and I'm sorry for that, because I think there's maybe something you had in your head of what this is going to be, and it's probably not for a season. And
by a season, like 3 or 4 years.
Well, I was going to say, and map out, Dylan, that like the end game, like look at all of your payments, look at all of this, and what John's saying, even if you go scorched earth and you literally don't pay for anything, and you say, hey, mom and dad, for a year, can I live with you guys? Like, start to map out a plan to say, okay, it's going to take me 3 years. And then that's able to be sustainable. If it's just this idea that I'm going to have to live like this forever and ever, you can start to be demotivated. So have a game plan, map this out as more detailed as possible, and then don't go back in, Dylan. Don't go back in.
Josh is with us in Dayton, Ohio. Hi, Josh. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, Dave? How you doing?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Well, Dave, I have a little situation, man. I keep hesitating on the budget, and just the guy that you were talking to, Max, I'm like, oh, my God, every word he's saying about anxiety is me. Here's what I got. I have $44,000, I think it's about $44,000 total in debt, $30,000 in student loans, $14,000 to the IRS. I have about $7,000 in cash and 2 vehicles that's paid off, and I'm renting, and my rent is $350. I need help.
Okay. And are you single?
Yes.
Why do you have 2 cars?
Over the course of a couple of years, I bought them in cash. I have a LaCrosse and a Trans Am, and I've heard you before, and I got in debt a long time ago and paid off a Mustang I had, and I said I'm not going to do that again, so I just paid cash for them.
Yeah. So what are these cars worth?
The LaCrosse, it's nice, it's decked out and all that, probably about $5,000. And the Trans Am, it's a drop top 98, probably about $7,000 to $9,000.
Yeah, it's kind of a collectible. Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. And what's your income, sir?
About 45 to 48,000.
Okay. All right. Well, I always put the IRS at the top of your debt snowball, and they would be no exception here. Do you have them on an installment plan on payments?
I have nothing. I just got a letter probably about a month or so ago. I had missed a couple years of filing taxes. I had a guy that got over on me about $8,000, and I got a letter, and I didn't know what to do at that point.
Oh, so you don't. The $7,000 is their estimate because you've never filed.
No, their estimate. No, I have 7,000 cash.
I'm sorry, the 14,000. The 14,000.
Yeah, 14,000 is what what the letter said about 13,400.
Yeah, but that's not reality. That's just their guess. They just guessed.
Because I filed this year, and the previous two I didn't. So I guess they took the 2013
exactly
taxes, and so
exactly. And that doesn't. The problem is you've got to file anyway.
Yeah.
And so your first step is to jump online and find one of our endorsed local providers for taxes in your area and go down and get your taxes filed. And then you'll find out what you really do owe the IRS. You might only owe them $10. I don't know what you owe them. Their guess is just that. It's a guess, and it's not even a good guess. It's the IRS guess.
Right.
You might owe them more. I don't know. But you probably owe them less, is my guess. And so I want you to, scratch everything together, get with a tax professional, and get all of your tax returns filed and current. Failure to file is a criminal act. Failure to pay is not. So you do not want them tracking you down on failure to file. You want to get filed as soon as you can. So that's the first thing.
I'm current right now, so
I'm sorry?
I need help. And I'm current on them right now. And
you did file them. You've already filed them
this year. Yes.
But you filed this year, but did you file the other 2 years?
Yeah, I had an amendment where I had all of them together, and I filed this year.
Oh, I thought you just meant you filed this year and you didn't file the other two.
No,
I'm sorry.
I ended up getting all the information and ended up filing at the beginning of this year.
Okay, is that what created the 14,000, or is that their guess?
That's what I'm thinking. Yes, that's the letter I got about a month and a half.
Well, when you filed, it should have had a tax number on it that was owed.
Well, it said it had 4,000 because of my dependents of last year. That's the only thing I had at the time. So I'm thinking they added that because I remember it was an $8,000 bill that I seen years later earlier. But I didn't know
but you have your tax returns for the last 3 years have been filed recently. Those actually have a dollar amount on them.
Okay.
And if that dollar amount doesn't total 14, then there's a problem.
Okay. So what do I do with the baby steps?
If it totals 14, you're going to give them this 7,000, 6 of this 7 immediately, and get you at 1,000, and then you're going to start paying them big chunks as fast as you can, and get them out of your life.
Okay.
They're your number one item on your baby step 2.
Okay.
And you just get them out of your life. Number one, to start with, they are your smallest debt, which is good news. But number two, it's a freaking IRS, and you want them out of your life. The penalties, the taxes, interest rates, everything, and the power that they have with the IRS is just not something you want to mess with. You get your taxes current, you stay current on your taxes. It's too expensive to do otherwise. So just that's the first thing. That's going to give you a lot of peace. And then we start tearing into the student loans as fast as we can. And then you're sitting there looking at that Trans Am going, do I want $9,000 worth of this stuff gone, or do I want to keep this car and fight my way through it? Either one's okay with me, but you just need to ask yourself that question. If I had $9,000 in the middle of the kitchen table, would I throw it at these debts right now the way I feel anxious, or would I buy a Trans Am drop top 98? I might, because that's a pretty sweet car. But I might also just clean up my debts and then pick me up a car later. Now, has that car got any sentimental value other than the fact it's really cool?
No, I love it, man. It's a drop top. I grew up, my granddad had 2, and so I always wanted one.
That's what it was. You just wanted one. But it wasn't like your first car when you were 16 or something like that.
No.
Yeah, I'd probably dump it and get me one later when I've got some money. Right now, you're a broke guy that was the IRS, and you don't need to be collecting cars. That's probably what I would do. Now, I've got some nice cars, but I didn't have them when I was broke. And I added them to the stable later on once I got myself under control and got some wealth. And so, yeah, I'm probably dumping that thing. And let's get the IRS out of your life and then start working on Sally Mae, give her eviction notice. Hold on, I'm going to send you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, to help you do all this stuff. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show. Anthony's with us in Panama City, Florida. Hi, Anthony. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to talk to you and John.
Sure. How can we help?
I've got a question. Just wanted to get some opinion, have some men speak some knowledge into this. My wife and I want to own a campground someday. We've come to this, we call it our vocation. We want to own one, and we don't know what that's going to look like as far as something that we would fund fully with cash to acquire a campground, like an RV park campground, or if you get a loan, take on debt to do so.
So this is like a dream in the future?
Yes.
Okay, cool. How old are you guys?
I had to think about that for a second. I'm 30. My wife's 28.
Okay, cool.
When you turn 30, you hear, the
you
memory loss.
start losing your hearing. Yeah.
And memory
loss.
in
your memory.
Right away.
And your speech patterns.
Exactly.
So...
Why camping, man? What is it about camping?
Well, we both love it. It's funny. I'm like kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. I'd like to do everything, and we've been spending a lot of time at night, talking about what we want to do with our future, and we've settled on this idea that this is something that could really get the gears turning for us and keep us busy, and we work really well together, and we'd like to do it together, and we plan to live there too. So we see ourselves living on the campground, or at least in close proximity, absorbing and taking on the lifestyle of being campground owners.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the first time you run a business of any kind, you start finding out that you didn't know what you didn't know. There's all these little surprises that go, woohoo! You went, I had no idea. And they're like, yep, you had no idea. That's why we got you. And you're going to discover that regardless of what kind of business you own, the first time you own a business and run a business. And it's more than just keeping the toilets cleaned in this case, or the electrical hookups working, or whatever jack of all trades things. You got all this other stuff called accounting and marketing and collections and payment systems and a website, because that's how everyone does everything now, right? Oh, maybe even an app, right? And so, that's got a lot. That's a long way from running wiring to the picnic shed, okay? And so, there's a lot of different skills you're going to have running a business that you need to develop over time. And you don't want to discover those with big, hairy payments coming at your face every month. I would rather you discover those more gently than that. So let's say that since this is just a dream at this point, let's just adapt what some middle steps are. You're wanting to go from 0 to 100 in one leap. And how can we do this in the middle? And I'll give you an example. I don't borrow money, and I'm not going to tell you to borrow money. So we're going to work our way through there, because I'm not. That doesn't mean I'm a dream killer either. I want you to live a dream, but I don't want your dream to be a nightmare. So I love, in your case, you love campgrounds. I love real estate. And a building that we moved into of 55,000 square feet was a $5 million building, and that was 20 years ago, I think, something like that. Let's just call it 20 years ago. And we didn't have $5 million, but I really, really wanted to own this building, kind of like you want to own a campground. You following me?
Yes.
Okay. So what did I do? I leased it with an option to purchase it for 5 years. I didn't have $500,000, much less $5 million. But I started collecting all the nickels out of the corner of the couch for the next 5 years and barely scraped together the money at the last minute and exercised the option after 5 years. Thank God I did, because by then the building was worth $13 million and I bought it for $5 million. So what's known as a freaking deal, right? But I did not borrow money, and I was telling God all along while I was looking for the nickels in the corner of the couch, if you don't send the money, I'm not buying this, because I'm not going to borrow money, period. And me and God had a lot of conversations about that. So I kind of had to lay my guidelines out. But during that time, I learned a lot about that building. We learned that the former owner had not taken care of the roof, and the former owner had not taken care of the heat and air. And we learned that the heat and air was from another century. And we had to go in and rework a bunch of that and boiler, baling wire and duct tape. how does this run parallel to what you're saying? Maybe a way to do something similar might be go to work for a campground, be the general manager, and maybe they provide housing and you stay there and you run the whole thing for an absentee owner. And that includes you doing the repairs and you learning how to do the accounting and you learning from the owner how he did marketing for the past 20 years because he was doing this stuff when you were knee-high to nothing. And let's get in there and just get it all over you a little bit. And you might discover you freaking hate it, but you might discover it's even better than you thought. And this is like awesome. And then you might be able to option it and buy it from him with the profits instead of with debt.
Okay.
I'm making up a dream scenario, but I'd rather make up one of those than you go get an SBA loan and call me up 4 months later and go, I'm broke. Oh, by the way, COVID hit and they don't allow camping anymore.
Yeah.
Because that
like
never happens.
I like the slower move into it, like you guys say when I watch show. You don't want to jump or leap into it because we're both gainfully employed now, and we're just thinking of the options. How do we keep? But
let's just say, what do you make a year?
Combined, we're about $160.
No. What do you make
before taxes? $82,000.
Okay. Well, let's say he paid you $60 to run the campground. You took a pay cut, but you got an option to buy the thing from him anytime in the next 7 years as a part of operating it for him. I'm modeling after my little building deal, and you can make it up. You can make up a different narrative, a different story, but the point is walk into it, don't leap into it, and lay your structure out to do that.
Yeah, the word that keeps coming to mind is let's practice. Before we go to the major leagues, let's practice. Let's at least take some batting practice before we decide this is what we're going to do forever. I love that idea. And even if you can't get a job at a campground in your local area, get a job at working the evening shift at a local hotel, hospitality industry. Because the campground industry,
it's tough.
It's a lot of people, man. That's a tough gig.
Well, and these are, if something's broken, it's broken like right then.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m.
That's right.
It's broken right
And if you live on, the reason they let you live on site
is because they're going to come knock on your door.
They want you to come get it.
You are the emergency toilet guy. That's your job, man. And welcome to doing it. That's it's okay. It's part of the gig. And there's no downside of that except that that's who it is. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I need some advice on how I can control my money better and finance it better with my fiance, because we are struggling to figure out ways to pay our bills the correct way.
Okay. Our bills, does that mean you guys are sharing finances before getting married?
In theory, yes. We have separate accounts and everything, but we're trying to, in theory, control them as one set of separate people.
So you're living together?
Yes.
Is this a rent or a home mortgage?
This is a rent. We live in an apartment.
Okay. What do you guys make?
I make probably about $800 a month, and she probably makes about $400 a month.
Okay, well, there's your problem. $1,200 a month? That is,
yes,
you barely can live in a cardboard box for that.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
22.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I have 3 jobs. I work at 2 restaurants, and then I just got a 3rd job today.
Okay.
Doing some umpiring.
You are not doing much work at all. $800 a month is what you're bringing in with 3 jobs?
Roughly. I just got my 3rd job today.
How many hours are you working?
I'm working at one of my jobs about 30 hours, and then I'm about to quit my 2nd job.
Okay. So what can you tell us what they are so that we can let them know about themselves live on the air? Because anybody that's not paying you to work 30 hours and you're not even...
Are you waiting tables?
Basically, yes, but I just bring out the food.
Okay, listen, dude.
Oh, gosh.
How old are you again?
22.
Okay, you need to go get a job at a grocery store or Walmart
anywhere else,
or somewhere else where you're making way more than you're making
Amazon
now.
Flex, anything else.
Like you bringing out food, I don't know if you've done the math on that. $800 divided by 30 hours ain't much. All right?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me. So you call, and I appreciate that you call, but you need some income.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so you're shooting for $15 an hour, $12 an hour, $20 an hour. I mean, anything more than what you're making right now. And what is she doing for $400 a month?
She is an at-home CNA nurse.
How many hours is she working? 3?
She works about probably 4 to 5 because she only has one client right now.
Okay, what is she
just
doing with
started
the
this
rest
job
of
not
her
too
time?
long. She does like door dashing and all to make up the extra money that we can't. Or we
And
don't
how
have.
much does she make from that? Because you said she makes $400. Is that total?
She's not
As of what I'm aware of, probably.
She's not working, Aiden.
Can she, instead of trying to build up her own book of business, can she go work for a company that will do work for hire for her? Like
She probably she can. We've talked about trying to get her a better paying job because she loves what she does, but this job that I've tried talking to her about isn't working her of what
she's not actually doing it. That's the problem. She might love the idea of doing that work, which is great. She's just got to actually go out and be able to do that work, because what you're describing is just a couple of hours for the whole week. So either she needs to get with a company that will send her out on jobs, or she needs to get very, very serious about getting on all the sites that would book her as, individually to come out and be a care nurse.
Yeah.
Are you stumped right now? I'm just doing some math over here. I didn't want you to think I left you hanging. I'm just doing
He's making
math.
$26 a day.
Yeah, $26.
Yeah.
You can do that. You can triple that today just by mowing lawns. It's summertime. Just by going out and being like, do you see what I'm saying? I don't want you to fall into just this pattern of, well, this is what I got, and that one's not enough. I'll just go get another one just like it, and just keep stacking up these bum jobs. I want you to go, this is not good enough for me. Like I'm a hard worker. I'm a smart guy. Like I deserve more than this.
Yeah.
And if look for the opportunity, and if you can't find it, start creating it for yourself.
Yeah. Get in the car and go to construction sites and say, I'd be willing to be a laborer. That means you're carrying bricks around. You're carrying drywall, plywood, and throwing it up to these guys. I did this as a 19-year-old. You can make more money as a laborer on a construction site than you can carrying out food. Do you understand what I'm saying, Aiden? I need to hear something from you.
Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying.
Is there a reason why you've not gone after these things? Did Jade hit the nerve here where you just think, well, I live in a small town, there's not a lot there, I got what I got, and it's just not getting me through? What's going on in your mind around making more money?
Well, I have a side business on my own, but I've applied to other companies because I did work for a mowing company at the beginning of the summer, but they let me go because I got injured and they didn't want to keep me for however long I was going to be gone from my injury.
What were you making when you were mowing lawns for them?
I was making $16 an hour.
Boom. So you're healthy. Go back to them. And if they won't take you, go somebody else. But this idea of you don't need a side hustle, you don't need a side business. You're broke, and you got a woman that has said yes to marry you. When's the wedding?
Next year, June 28th.
Great.
Who's paying for it?
So we actually have a free venue, and we're not going to cater any food, so that we're going to keep it on the cheaper end and more kind of like a potluck kind of thing.
Okay.
Love the potluck idea.
Well, how much is your rent, by the way?
Our rent is $1,000.
So you guys are existing off of $200. It must be going on credit cards.
Well, actually, we don't have any credit cards.
So how are you eating and putting gas in your car?
So I donate plasma every 2 days a week. So that normally is for my gas. And then for food, we have to normally go to food banks.
Can I ask you, why are you you're a 22-year-old smart, bright guy. Why are you putting yourself on a struggle slice? Why are you doing that? Why are you choosing that? Going down and donating plasma, that's pursuit of happiness next level broke. You don't have to be there. You are fit. You are young. You are smart. You have the world is your oyster.
What's the answer to that? She asked you a direct question. What's the answer? What's really going on that's your option?
I mean, I shouldn't be, in theory, punishing myself for these low labor jobs, and I should probably go out and find these higher paying jobs that are going to help me get through life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can. What I want you to hear from me is I think there's something in your own mind that's making you feel like maybe you're not able to accomplish, but I think you can. I did not hear anything, Aiden, that would make me think, well, he's got a good reason for kind of having to, reach lower. I only hear reasons that you should be reaching higher. And I just think that it's your own mind that's kind of getting in the way of that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I want to give you guys a pre-wedding gift. It's called Find the Work You're Wired to Do. And it's got about an 18 to 20 minute assessment in it. If I give it to you, will you promise me you'll take it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now here's what it's going to do. It's going to spit out for you how you're wired. In other words, what you're really good at doing, what you enjoy doing, and the results that motivate you. Because all work creates result. Do you agree with that? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
All right. So if you could spend most of your day using the talent that you have to do something you love to produce a result that matters, that'd be a pretty good day, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Do you also agree that that's your best chance of making income?
Yeah, I truly believe that.
All right. I'm going to give this to you as awareness to hopefully shake you out of this cycle of I'm just down on my luck and life got me behind the 8 ball. As I think Jade nailed it. You're worth more than this. It's time to start acting like it. And it's going to change everything for you guys. You guys are subsisting on less than the poverty level. And there's no reason for it other than sheer belief and the effort that comes with it. So hang on the line. We're going to give you the book, Find the Work You're Wired to Do. Please take the assessment and then read the book. It's about a 45-minute read. I'm going to coach you to move forward. Please do it for your future. I'm telling you, you can do this. But you got to start acting on this today.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Erica is with us in Huntsville, Alabama. Hi, Erica. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So, I'm going to give you a little bit of background so you can understand the situation I'm in. I moved to the U.S. by myself when I was 21, and I worked as a nanny until I was about 28. And when I was 28, I finally had the opportunity to go to college, and I pursued a physics degree. And in college, I got as many opportunities that I could because I wanted to build my resume and have actual work experience. So I got a NASA internship. I did 3 research teams. I was a physics TA. I published a paper. And I got a job right after college as a developer, and I'm making $40K a year. But I'm moving to Atlanta soon. I only have 10 days left at work. And I have been looking for a job since October, and I haven't even gotten an interview yet. And the people who went to college with me, they all got really good jobs. They have the same background as me, but they found jobs in engineering, in tech. But I can't seem to find anything, and I don't understand why. And now I'm having to pay back my student loans, and things are getting tough.
Erica, so let me ask you this. What have you done when you say I haven't been able to find anything? Does that mean you haven't been accepted in the form of getting hired, or you just literally are having a hard time ideating and selecting things to do with that physics degree?
No, I actually have been applying to lots of jobs, and I haven't gotten an interview.
Okay, so
I applied for tech, engineering.
So, Erica, I'm interrupting because that's the challenge. So we live in a world today where getting noticed is harder than ever if you're just going to apply. I mean, you could sit and LinkedIn message people all day long. You can apply, and you're Exhibit A for applying without a connection, and you are maybe not even getting noticed. There was some data that came out, Erica, in 2021 that said 4 million actually qualified candidates never even got noticed by the companies they applied for because of the artificial intelligence software that we have to use now to be able to process the amount of resumes. So I'm trying to encourage you, not discourage you. The encouragement is you've been going about it the wrong way. And now you need to do it the right way. And so if you're moving to Atlanta, you've got to start to zero in on everybody that you know that lives in Atlanta, everybody that you know that knows somebody that lives in Atlanta. And we're going to show them the impressive degree that you got in physics. I'm assuming you had a great GPA and some of the papers that you've written. All these things are impressive, correct?
Right.
So
that's what I have been doing. I have been trying to network there, and I even went in person to a few companies to deliver my resume, introduce myself, but no luck yet.
No, but sweetheart, listen, the days of walking into the street and to the receptionist, while I love the hustle factor there, it's just not the way things work. So what has to happen is you've got to have somebody who is making an introduction for you to somebody who has a say in the job. Is this hard work? Absolutely. Is it harder than submitting resumes all day, every day? Yes. But with your background, your pedigree, your issue is not qualification. Your issue is connections and getting in front of somebody who gives you an actual interview. And so there's no silver bullet advice here. This is you literally locking in on, this is where I'm moving to Atlanta. And so if I draw a circle around Atlanta and I know the north side, the south side, you're looking at all of the companies. And one of the things you probably need to do is narrow in on, what is it that I really want to do with the physics degree? Do you have an answer to that? Give me top of the list. If you had three things, what would be number one at this very moment?
Well, number one at this moment is what I have been doing right now to work as a developer, but I know that things have been tough for developers at the moment, so my second option would be engineering. And
you're doing code with a physics degree?
Oh, yes, because in my university we have to have a lot of
I know, but I mean,
code background.
Yeah, okay.
But you want to be a developer. That's the long-term ladder for you. I want to keep taking my developer skills and move up.
Because your current developer job sucks.
Yeah, you're on the low end.
$40K to be a developer? That's awful.
Yeah, it's because I was hired for a nonprofit company.
Okay, so Erica, we're fishing. Not only are we not fishing properly, when you have fished, you've been fishing in the wrong pools. Nonprofits, by the very nature of their existence and operation, there's just a lid on you financially. You should be in the 75, 85 range very soon with a path
Dev 1
to six figures.
A first level dev, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm trying to find.
And developers are not hurting. There's a shortage. I don't know who told you the market is dried up for developers. There's a shortage.
Oh, it's because
I could hire 5 today if I could find them that were competent.
I just went on a popular job site. I'm not going to say their name, but there's 977 developer jobs on their site in the Atlanta area.
Not exactly a shortage.
977.
Yeah, so I have been applying for these, though.
So you're not listening. That's why you're not getting an interview.
Yes,
for 10 minutes, Ken's been telling you that applying for jobs doesn't work unless you know somebody inside the building that takes your resume out of that stack that's 9 feet high and walks it over to their friend's office and says, hey, I don't know if Erica will be great or not, but you ought to at least talk to her. She's my buddy.
That's right.
That's who gets you the interview. Otherwise, listen, we get 15,000 applications into Ramsey every year. We hired 170 people last year. What do you think your chances of getting out of that needle in a haystack are? So, it's not because we're mean or heartless.
So something Erica just said, and this applies to a lot of people, so I want to break this down. So Erica just said, I don't have any buddies. Well, first of all, it's not true. So let me give you all a really quick example of what I've done 1,000 times on the Ken Coleman Show. Someone says, Ken, I don't know enough people. So I say to them, Dave, how many people do you know? Give me close ties, close network, social media, friends from college. And they usually say, every time they say, I know about 100, 150 people, 200 people. Okay, great. How many people do those 200 people know? And then they say, well, 200. And I go, quick math, that's 40,000 people.
Yeah.
So when someone says this, and Erica's still listening. So Erica, here's what I want you to understand. You know everybody that you need to know. But this takes work. Let me give you a classic example. Here's what people do wrong, Dave. They go on LinkedIn and they fire a bunch of emails and connections and they feel like, I did good today. I put some hooks out in the water. But what you got to do is...
No bait on the hook.
No, you got to go to LinkedIn and you go, okay, so I'm looking at a job right here, folks. I'm not going to say the company. It's a lead full stack developer. She's not qualified for that. But this is a developer job at a company in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's listed via LinkedIn. So what you do is you go to LinkedIn and you go, how many people on LinkedIn do I know at that company? If she comes up with 0, then she goes, all right, let me start looking at the connections of people on LinkedIn that work at that company. And I will guarantee you she's 3 or 4 degrees on LinkedIn from that one person who's at that one company. Now, folks, our advice here is practical and it's doable. We don't give out this kind of, Mary Poppins kind of Pollyanna advice. This takes
Mary
work.
Poppins.
I know, but my point is it's not just go out there and do it. It's you got to work it and work it and work it to the point where someone goes, all right, I know Fred over there, and Fred knows the hiring manager. Fred's going to connect you based on our relationship.
Here's a copy of Ken's new book, #1 bestseller, Proximity Principle.
That'll help.
The proximity principle is what we're talking about. Find someone that you're in proximity of the job with that can pull your resume out of the stack and walk it down the hall to their buddy and the hiring manager and go, hey, I don't know if she'll work out, but at least look at her. That happened to me last week. An old childhood friend texted me and said, a friend of a friend's daughter has her stuff in your stack. Would you pull it out? We pulled it out. It did not result in her being hired, but we pulled it out and let them look at it. How much of this need to do things digitally instead of relationally is caused by a generation that grew up doing everything digitally instead of relationally?
Yeah. I think it's a portion of it. I'll tell you the biggest cause is the sting of rejection. So every time you have to put yourself out there and ask somebody to help you, one of the hardest questions we know to ask is, will you help me? We don't want to feel like we're a burden to somebody. And we also don't want to potentially hear the word no. So actually the fear of rejection is what's really driving most of this. Now, to your point, social media and technology and devices has made it feel as though we are being more effective.
People have digital courage. I mean, they'll say crap, trolling, and do crap that would get their dadgum nose broken were they to do it in person.
That's right.
Somebody punched the freaking lights out if you said that in person to somebody, right? But you got digital courage behind your little avatar living in your mother's basement.
That's right.
And it's a generation that breaks up with their boyfriend or girlfriend instead of doing it in person, A, with a little class, and B, dealing with relational conflict properly. They do it with a text.
Well, let's go a level deeper. Now we have ghosting, where you don't even actually send the breakup text or whatever. You just don't show up.
Ever again.
It's a scourge. We have there are story after story of businesses hiring people, and their start day arrives, and the person doesn't show up. They get worried about them. They reach out to them, and they never hear from them. I'm not kidding. This is called ghosting.
I know it's called ghosting, but it's ghosting on a new hire.
They're not showing up.
We've had people start here 2 times in the last year, and I have raised Cain with our recruiters and our interviewers because they shouldn't have got it in the building. They started here and they quit on the first day because they found out, like, we work and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like, whoop.
Imagine taking a job and then
at Dave Ramsey's place and discovering I had to work.
Right.
Why would that be a shock?
Yeah, right. But
I work.
But I think you make a very good point. The rejection feels less when I'm submitting a resume online. I feel good about myself because I submitted it.
Well, I'm going further than that. I'm saying not everybody in these generations. I'm not throwing a whole generation on the bus.
That's right.
But the skill of personal relationships,
you're right,
has been stunted.
That's exactly right. It's hard, though,
by this technology instead of enhanced by the technology.
And you're right, and I'm agreeing with you. But I'm saying what's really going on underneath all of that is this fear of rejection and fear to ask for help. And to your point, they've not exercised the muscle to where it's no longer scary. Yeah. And so you're absolutely at the pinpoint of why it feels better and feels easier to do what this young lady said.
Because I'll never forget, I was like in my 20s, and I went to a sales conference, and the guy was talking about the guy with, in my 20s, there was a huge real estate company called Century 21.
Yeah, oh, sure.
And the guy that won the award for selling more houses than anybody else in this huge company was a Vietnam veteran. And they called him up to stage, and he kind of was just this little guy, not real impressive looking. And they got him in front of the microphone. He really wasn't that impressive. And they're like, so how are you the number one guy in the nation? I mean, you'd think a guy would be a dynamo, right? And how are you the number one guy? And he goes, well, just talk to people about houses, and they buy houses.
Yep.
And he goes, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, like, example the other day, he goes, I was in Burger King and heard this couple sitting over there talking about houses, looking at Homes Magazine. I walked over and told them I'm in the real estate business, and 3 days later I sold them a house. And they're like, well, weren't you scared to walk up to a stranger in Burger King? And he goes, honey, I did 2 tours of Vietnam. Burger King ain't scary.
Isn't that the truth?
So it's a muscle
great
that's
example.
built. You know, it's a muscle that's built.
And that's exactly right. So we all have to understand that when we put ourselves out there, just in the act of applying, what you are essentially doing is you are in a place of vulnerability, and you're kind of going, I hope they like me. And so now what's happened with this caller, and we hear this all the time, is she has tasted rejection so much that now she has really begun to believe the narrative that I can't find a job. And
developers, you can't, nobody's hiring developers in Atlanta.
And in
one
two-second
keystroke live on the air, you get 977 jobs to come up.
So what's happened? What's happened is
the warped reality.
Right, but from what? I can't find anything. Nobody wants me, and we believe it, as opposed to what's really hard is to go taste rejection. I'm going to tell you something. When I was a kid, my dad, I remember my first job, he drove me to a McDonald's and sat in the car and said, go in there and turn your application in. I had to go ask for the application. This is going to freak out some young people. I had to go ask for it. They hand it to you. And then I go sit in the corner. My dad gave me a pen. I filled it out. Had to walk back up and interrupt the manager who's busy trying to fill a large fry order. And you're standing over there. But it's those kind of things that, yes, it was terrifying for me. And I'm an outgoing, extroverted guy, but still.
I mean, when you're 4 years old, that's hard.
It's true. I was young. But, the idea is that you have got, let me tell you, let me just say this. The most underrated, underused question in the world is, would you help me? And here's what I found about successful people.
Most anybody will.
Just about everybody does. Successful people who have been helped, by the way, they say this, come on in. The water's nice. Sure, I'll help.
There's plenty of room for everyone.
But you have got to ask. Which means you've got to be okay hearing no.
Success is not a fixed pie. There's a lot of room for all of us. Come on in. I'll help.
It's your classic story of the turtle.
Yeah. Turtle on a fence post. One thing you know if you see a turtle on a fence post. 2 things you know. One is it's a curious sight. And 2 is the boy didn't get there by himself.
And it's so rich.
So are you a turtle on a fence post? Most successful people feel like they're a turtle on a fence post. They know they didn't get there by themselves.
Yep.
And so they're willing to help. They're willing to do that. So it's yeah, and if I can't help, I'll send you to somebody that can.
That's right. And in one other,
or I will help you by giving you an instant no on an email.
That's right.
I'll just say no.
And I just feel like there's some people out there who are watching and listening today. You need to hear this. I'm going to share this. Years ago, I had the opportunity to interview Soledad O'Brien. She was at CNN at the time, and I was asking her about her journey starting from scratch in media. And she said something. A producer pulled me aside one day. She goes, I was in a heap. I had asked for a role as anchor. They told me no. As she was just devastated. And she said the producer pulled her aside and said, listen, you need to start turning no's into not yet or not here. And stop looking at it as finality. And the word no, when we don't even get crickets back. You remember when we were kids, we'd write the little note, do you like me? Yes, no, or maybe. What's weird about that is the maybe was more excruciating for me than the yes or no, because at least I knew where I stood, right?
I can move on.
and so we treat no's in the form of no reply to a job application. We treat no's in the form of I interviewed, I thought I did well, but I got beat out. And we treat that as this final period end of statement. And I can tell you, Dave knows my story. I heard no from Ramsey leaders 3 years before I actually came here. And it wasn't a no, it was a not yet, turned out. I didn't know that at the time. I thought
we weren't in a position to handle a thoroughbred like you.
Well, I don't know
Took
about that.
a little while.
No, I think you had to find a program.
Took a little while to get ready. We had to get a really good saddle and bridle. So, yeah.
But you get that. We got to start. Well, no is not final.
Exactly. It's true, though. We didn't hire him for a while. Yeah.
It's not now, right?
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's a matter, or not here.
Not here. So what
somewhere
do we do?
Else,
we
somewhere
keep
else,
moving.
Somewhere else.
Keep moving.
The guy that turned down the book Financial Peace, one of my best friends. Yeah. Sold 3.2 million copies now.
Oops.
And he's still in publishing, and I'm still an author. But that deal never happened. All right, one last thing on that, and then I'm going to move on. Because one of our team members working in the lobby mentioned this to me at the break. I'm saying that we've got a couple of generations now that have grown up with a magic wand in their hand, and they have learned to think Facebook friends are real friends, which is a lie, or break up over text, and that there's a stunted growth associated with a digital level of communication versus a personal level, a relational level of communication. That is, I'm not making that statement, and to her point, she corrected me, and I appreciate her doing that. To her point, it's not a generation-wide malady, but it is not and so there's plenty of millennials that know how to do relationships. That's not my point, other than digital, right? There's plenty of Gen X or Gen Zs that know how to do relationals. But you guys have learned how to make almost that your default mechanism, and if you don't watch, you'll fall into that, is my point. Because our generation, we didn't have that. I mean, our phones were connected to the wall.
That's so true.
And so you had to kind of go around the corner to talk to your girlfriend and your sister not here at the dinner table. I mean, with how long a cord could you get on this thing?
Yeah.
And so, it was a different situation with communication. And we didn't fall prey to, we didn't have the option of doing something stupid that goes viral and stays on your digital tattoo the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have that disadvantage either. So, but we didn't have the advantage of any question you ever want answered in the world is at your fingertips. Yeah. And 30 seconds later, you can have the answer hypothetically correct, depending on whether Google likes your algorithm search or not. But anyway, but conceptually, it's a wonderful piece of technology.
It is.
And all millennials and all Zs are not stunted. I want to make sure because I was not saying that, but I'm saying you can fall into that if you're in those categories. So be careful. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Giovanni's up next in Denver. Giovanni, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you. How are you doing today?
We're doing great. How can we help?
Great. So I just made a horrible financial decision. I leased a car, and now I'm $17,000 in debt.
Yikes.
And I'm a full-time student. Thankfully, I'm on full ride scholarship. They pay for food, housing, and books, everything.
Nice.
I work 3 jobs. I'm a videographer, an editor, and an assistant producer.
Awesome. What's your income doing all that?
It really depends on me and how many hours I work, but usually it's just around $2,000 a month.
Okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's like if you're busting it, or is that just an average if you're doing your normal thing?
That's just it. If I'm just doing my normal thing.
Okay.
What's the payment on the lease?
It's $300, and then insurance is like around $400.
Yipes.
Ouch. So your $700 a month is an expense, and you're making $2 on a decent month.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any other expenses? Any other debt?
No. I don't have any college debt, or I have $100 in debt of credit card, but I'll cover that.
Well, A1 is just let's pay that off. Let's cut up the cards and say no more. We're using Giovanni's money and not the bank's.
Okay.
So that's an easy start. That's a quick win you can do as soon as you're off this call.
Mm-hmm. And I want you to remember the pain of this moment, Giovanni. I want you to remember how you feel right now, which is like, dude, I just screwed myself big time. Because this moment right here is what's going to make you not go back into debt, hopefully ever again, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we're going to get ourselves out of this thing, and there is a way to do it depending on the terms that you sign. Do you know what the car is worth?
Yeah, on Kelley Blue Book, it's like worth, what, $8,000, $9,000? So
it's only worth $8,000 and you owe
paid
17?
Yeah, it's a 2000. So I leased a used car.
You leased
How much do you owe? Like, what's on the lease?
So I bought it for $11,000, and then there's this finance charge of $5,000.
Okay, you had mentioned 17 earlier.
Well, 13 and 5.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
All right. Have you found out the early buyout amount from the lender?
No, I haven't called about that yet.
Okay, that would be your next piece of homework to find out, is what it would cost to buy yourself out of this lease. And then based on what the car is actually worth, that gives you a kind of number to go, all right, either I'm underwater on this thing, in which case it would be the only time we would tell you, hey, go down to your local credit union and get a small loan to cover the difference so that you're able to pay that car off. And now at least we have a $4,000 loan instead of a $11,000 loan.
So how it works, would I just sell the car first and use that money, or get the title in my hands first?
You're going to need the title in hand. But you can't do that until you won't have a clean title until the car is paid off. So you need to pay it off first to have the title to then sell it. And you're going to need to get probably a small loan to do this if you're underwater.
It sounds like he might need a decent, like, depending on what it's worth. If it's truly only worth $8,000, which still
that feels super low.
It does.
Is it because of the used car market slowing down?
I'm not sure. It's that's what I got on Kelly Blue Book. I was pretty disappointed. It's a 2011 Mercedes-Benz C-Class. I bought it because I thought it would get me more clients, make me feel more established. It was a stupid decision.
I've never once worked with a videographer because they drove a Mercedes. I work with them because their work was excellent.
Facts.
Yes.
Which I know you know that now.
Yeah.
But just for anyone listening out there who's like, whoa, if I get a Mercedes, more people want to work with me because they'll think I'm really successful.
That's what they do in real estate.
That's true.
That's what they do. They think the car makes them.
Well, those people are divas.
Yeah.
Okay, so Giovanni, you got your homework ahead of you, man. This is one of those stupid tax situations where you go, remember when I was a knucklehead at 18 and I made that stupid decision, never leasing a car again, gonna save up and pay cash for that used car and to get myself out of the situation.
That's right. And a key point that George made is, after, because you are going to have to pay some stupid tax on this. Hopefully it's not $8,000. Hopefully it's worth a bit more. But if you end up getting a loan to cover the difference, a $6,000 loan is better than being $17,000 in debt. But the key is the money that you gain from the sale of the car, that is your car budget. That's what you're spending on the next car, and you're paying for it cash. And then you got to pay whatever debt off, from getting out of that lease. And I gotta, for anybody listening, when it comes to car leases, you hear us say all the time, I mean, Dave used to say, it's not a car lease, it's a car fleece, right? Because you're getting screwed. Right. You're getting screwed every way that this thing can get you. And I think a lot of people don't realize this, because I'll be honest, back in the day, Giovanni, I thought that car leases were for rich people. I thought that was the way, like, if you want to show your status, you get a car lease. Boy, was I wrong. I was so wrong, because they get you four ways. If you're out here listening and you don't understand this, car leases get you four ways. Number one, he's got a used lease, but most people lease a brand new car, right? And a lot of us don't realize this, but the cost of that goes down 60 to 70% in the first 4 years. So they build that in. Then they add in interest, which they call cost of capital. And then they add in, their own profit, and then wear and tear. You're getting screwed, people.
Gross. Well, Giovanni, keep working your tail off on those side gigs to get as much income as you come. Sock away that cash so that you can get a beater car once that lease is out of your hair, man. Byron joins us up next in Colorado Springs. Byron, welcome to the show.
Hey there, guys. Really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely.
So, here's the situation. Kind of lost a lot of money in the stock market, put my family in debt. I've got a wife and 3 kids, so kind of disappointed in what happened. But long story short, during the stock market boom, and I believe it was 2018, 2020, with GameStop and AMC, kind of got into the stock market with that. Made a lot of money through the options trading of the stock market, and didn't really know what I was doing. So I brought $60,000 to about $130,000, and then lost it all. And so that's kind of where it gets a little bit fishy too. I started trying to make it back. Took out a $25K loan, put it in the stock market, lost it all. And that's kind of where we're at today. I've got a car loan for about $40K. We're about $7K in medical debt. $5,500 in a credit card payment, and we've also got our mortgage to pay for. So I really dug myself in a hole, guys, and really looking for help right now.
I'm sorry to hear about this, man. You touched about the hottest stove you could touch, and I hope you are done with playing with single stocks and options trading, especially, which is one of the riskiest versions of trading there is out there.
Yeah, I'm done with that completely now.
What's your income?
$120K per year.
Okay, and is that household? Is your wife working outside the home?
No, she is a stay-at-home mother.
Okay. What kind of work do you do?
Engineering, defense contracting.
Cool. Is there any opportunity to work more to clean this up?
Yeah, I would be willing to look into that. I guess I don't really know what would be feasible with time and opportunity costs. I haven't really explored that option.
And that $25K, was that a personal loan? How'd you take that out to use in the stock market?
Personal loan, correct.
Okay. So if I'm adding this up correctly, are we talking about close to $80K or so in debt, consumer debt?
I think after we calculated it, we're around $98K actually. I probably might have left a few things out of there.
Okay.
One option is to get rid of the car, because that would clear $40K. Yeah. That would clean up half your debt tomorrow. What is the car worth?
Okay. Right now, we currently own about $40K on it. I believe I checked out CarMax, and their cash now offer is about $35,000, I believe.
Okay. Do some more homework on that. Check with a bunch of different dealerships. Check private party value, because if you can get $40K for that, and you got any money in the bank, anything in savings?
No. Just
anything non-retirement?
Yeah, I was going to ask, is the stock money completely gone? There's nothing left?
It's completely gone.
Okay.
All right. So that puts you at this baby step one, which is we got to get $1,000 in the bank as soon as possible. Do you have that?
Next paycheck, yes, we can do that.
Okay. Beyond that, we're going to start to pay off all of these debts, smallest to largest, regardless of interest rates. And the car obviously would help clean this up. Even if you took a small loss on it, it would clean this up. Obviously, you need another car. Do you guys have another vehicle you could use, or could you buy a cheap $5,000 car?
Yeah, we've got family in town, and I'm sure we could definitely use one of their cars for a bit.
Because right now it feels overwhelming, and I think getting rid of this car would emotionally and financially benefit you, and you can always get that car later and do it with cash and do it the right way.
Okay.
So that is one thing you could do. I'm just giving you options here. Are you currently investing at all in anything?
We have our retirement account. That's untouched, so it's...
How much have you been contributing to that?
So I guess before I lost everything at the stock market, I was doing the company match. So that was about 8%. But then when everything kind of went down, I stopped contributing and just tried to start using all the money to pay the debt. So we're not doing that anymore.
Okay. Let's keep that paused until we get rid of all this consumer debt and we have a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. Now, the good news is you have a great income. You make $120K and you've got $98,000 in debt. Now, if we clean up the car, that leaves you with about $58,000. Mm-hmm. And now you're going, all right, I make $120K and I got $58,000 to pay off. How quickly could we do that? How much could you set aside from your income, having paused all the investments, at probably, $30,000, $40K a year towards this debt?
Yeah. I guess my only concern would be our mortgage is currently $3,000 a month. So it's a pretty big chunk.
And what's your take-home pay?
$7,200.
That's a hefty chunk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on a 30-year?
Yes.
Yeah, you're looking, that's 42%.
Uh-huh.
We need to get this income up ASAP.
Yeah. Suddenly selling the car is not an option. We need to do that.
This is a necessity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because right now, you're not going to have a lot of margin to throw at the debt if half of your income is going towards the mortgage alone.
That's right, Byron. You're going to have to do everything you can. You're going to have to work more. And I know we talked about it earlier, and it was like, oh, what's the opportunity cost? At this point, it doesn't matter. You need to be working 80 hours a week. If your wife can pick up work, if she can do something inside of the home to earn money, you guys have really got to get that income up. Here's the good news. You've got a lot of small debts, so you're going to be able to feel those wins quicker. I hate debt, but I like when it's broken up like this because you can feel the wins.
and you start doing a budget, man, we're going to gift you 1 year of Every Dollar Premium to get on a plan. You're going to start selling stuff. You're going to start finding money in the couch cushions. The kids are going to get involved. This is going to be a family affair to get this debt out of our lives once and for all. And you'll never look back, man. You'll never dip your toes in those waters again.
He learned his lesson.
Of those volatile single stocks. And, man, that's a tough situation.
Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Hey, Shonda, welcome to the show.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, how can we help?
Yes, I have money stress. I have an income of like $24,000, but I have two collection agencies. One is $5,000, which I could pay. I only have $2,000 more to pay for that one collection agency, and the other one is $8,000, and I don't know what to do or begin to pay that debt. I don't even know where to begin. I haven't talked to that collection agency at all because I don't know what to do because I don't have no money to pay them.
Okay.
And, a driveway that needs to be fixed, that's like $20,000, they say.
So that's an upcoming expense. That's not debt, right?
Yeah, that's an upcoming expense.
Okay. What other debt do you have?
I have student loans that's $50,000, a car loan that's $11,000, a home loan that's $75,000, and I was like 1 month behind. I think I just caught up. And let's see, credit card that's $200.
$200 a minimum payment, or that's the total?
Yeah, no, that's the total. So I was gonna pay them off when next time I get paid.
Okay. Woo. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 53.
Okay.
What are you doing for work right now?
Nursing assistant, but I feel like I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do, and I know y'all say don't play the lottery, but I've been trying to do that.
Oh no, Shada, don't step foot
I don't know what else
in
to
the
do.
convenience store, a gas station. Stay far away.
How many hours a week are you working?
That's right. Like 40 hours, and then sometimes I pick up on my off days.
Okay.
So I'm working.
And you're doing what again? I'm sorry. Say it one more time.
Nursing assistant.
Nursing assistant.
But you're only making $24,000 working as a nursing assistant and working 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing to be looking at, because what's your degree in? Because you have some student loans.
Yeah. Well, I went to school for I really went to school and didn't really get much of a degree. I got one degree in.
How long have you been paying on these student loans?
For years. And I haven't made a debt. And I mean, during COVID, they wasn't taking any payments during COVID. They were sending your money right back.
Are you single?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's some simple steps you can take that are tactical to help you, but it's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take making more, spending less, all of that. So here's the thing. With the collections, you've got to talk to these people. We can't bury our head in the sand. And even if you call them and say, listen, I can't pay you. I make $10 an hour, and I got a lot of bills and a lot of people who want to get paid. And so I need to keep the lights on. So your one priority is food, utilities, shelter, transportation. We call that the 4 walls. Nothing else gets paid before those get paid. I don't care who the debt is to, what the collectors are saying. You got to keep the lights on, keep the mortgage paid so that you don't get foreclosed on and eat something too. And so beyond that, you got to make your insurance payments. We need to keep all of that to protect us. And then we can start tackling the debt. But clearly, there's not much to tackle it with because you have no money left after making minimum payments, right?
That's right. So, so what do I tell them or what do I do? Do I write a letter? Do I call them?
I'd call everyone you owe debt to and say, listen, I want to pay you, but I don't have any money. I make $10 an hour. I'm 6 figures in debt. I'll pay you when I can and what I can. But right now, I'm flat broke.
Okay.
Yeah. And then on the income side, Shonda, I was, Walmart, Target, like these places are paying up to $20 an hour. Like you could double your hourly rates by working somewhere else. I think you're going to need a different job. I just don't, this job is not going to be able to sustain you. And you're working 40 hours. So I'm like, you have a great work ethic, but that energy is going to something that's not giving you your rate of return of what you need right now. And so, and places like Walmart, Target, some other places, I mean, they have great benefits. Like they really do a great job in helping their employees. So I honestly would be switching jobs. You have to make more. You can't be living on this.
Is there a path for you to make more in the nursing assistant world, like it's a CNA where you could be making $40,000 a year?
I don't know, like the hospitals or something like that. I don't know how much they.
I would do some homework and research and talk to people who are in these fields, in these positions, and ask them the path and what it's going to cost and what it's going to take and how long.
Yeah,
because long term, we need a solution.
Yeah, agency pays. I guess agency.
But beyond the agency,
like agency job,
as a certified nursing assistant, you should be able to make 30 to 40 versus 22. And with your experience, I'd imagine this wouldn't be a huge leap. And so I would just at least start to do some homework. I know life has got you down, but this is the time. The next 10 years, we need to be really getting focused, get the income up, get rid of this debt, and have no mortgage payment.
And Shonda, start binge watching some of our debt-free screams here on the YouTube channel or even podcasts, but go through and watch some of these stories because I know it feels like you're in such a hopeless situation. And numbers-wise, it does feel hopeless, right? And so we want some of that to change with your income and starting to get a grapple on this debt. But just know that there is a way out. It's just gonna look different than probably what you've done in the past, and that's okay. But there's people that do it every day. So continue to feed your mind with this stuff. If you hold on the line, Shonda, Austin's going to pick up. And I want to give you Financial Peace University. It's our 9-lesson course on money, just to get you the basics. We'll throw in Every Dollar Premium as well, which is our budgeting app. And they have a great tutorial there when you sign up there to really walk through and teach you there. Here's detailed how you do a budget. And Austin, go ahead and throw in Total Money Makeover too. And that's Dave Ramsey's best-selling book, and it's the 7 baby steps. I just want to get some knowledge of this plan in you, Shonda, and I want you to just like soak all this up because it's going to kind of be a different world that you'll be navigating with money. It's going to look different, but I want you to have motivation and people behind you cheering you on. And even if it's us on YouTube cheering you on and giving you some encouragement through other callers or watching their stories, I want that for you because I want you to know that this can change. It's going to be different. It's going to be different from what you've done. And it's going to be hard. None of this is easy, but it is possible.
I'm going to throw even one more thing just because I feel for Shonda. I'm going to gift you a free coaching session with a trained Ramsey financial coach who can walk through all of this with you, help you with the collection side, navigate this wild journey, help you make a plan with the debt snowball, just because we can't do that in a radio call. And I really want Shonda to have hope. Because I know a lot of there's older people out there listening who are in their 50s, Rachel, and they're going, well, I'm in her shoes. There's no hope for me. And it's harder to do as you get older. It's just harder. The habits,
deeper habits that you have to break.
The mistakes have been compounding for years. The debt's been sitting around for years. It's in collections. So hang on the line. We'll get you connected and give you a free session with a trained Ramsey financial coach who can help. So that's a big part of the problem is
and it
feeling
is hard
hope and getting a game plan.
That's right. And we talk to people, in their 50s, 60s, sometimes in their 70s, right? And they don't have anything for retirement. And they're trying to figure this out. And even though it's a hard hill to climb to say, okay, I'm going to buckle down. I'm going to learn something new, change what I've been doing, sacrifice, take on that extra job. Like all of that is hard, but it's also hard to go into retirement with nothing if you continue down that path, right? So it's one of those things like you choose your hard.
Yeah.
And one hard's actually going to be able to give you money when you start working a plan and get out of debt and be able to have some level of control over your life versus not at all, right? So
don't give up, Shonda.
You got this, Shonda. We believe in you.
Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.